I've tried to find how to blur the background, but I didn't do it. And your followership, we can determine if we believe. Usually, a good starting point is for me to give you my.
They signed in on my phone. So Betty, if you want to just start the presentation, I'm just gonna speak from my phone mic. Something's going on with my computer.
Sure, no problem. So, were you guys able to look at the proposal?
So I haven't seen the proposal yet. Amy sent it to me last night.
Okay.
And then
Well, I can go over it.
Yeah, let's
You
go
can
over
go
it.
over it. That's no problem. I just wanted to make sure where I needed to start at. So, well, to start off, I'm on my. I think the best part is my qualifications. I have over 20 years of internet marketing and social media marketing as well. I've developed strategies for small and large corporations, nonprofits, government, government contracts. I've done major brands, small and large businesses, all over Alaska. I've been a freelancer for almost 20 years now, but I've also been an in-house graphic designer, web developer, and digital marketing coordinator. And just pretty much, I'm pretty much a jack of all trades. I can do anything digitally. I like solving problems. So if it has to do with a website or an app, I can usually come up with a solution. I always like to start off with a budget just so that I stay within budget. I use all design principles when I'm designing and running through, depending on the project. So for example, this proposal is specifically for your digital marketing. I think I also sent a proposal for your website. But yeah, I think, I definitely like to have results. And usually with results, I like to start off with goals, and depending on what your goal is, then I can modify it. But usually a good starting point is for me to give you my ideas of how, to proceed with the scope of work. And then we can refine it once you guys see what I've proposed and then tailor it to your company. So my goals are always, I like to be specific and have measurable results. I also like to have something that's achievable, like saying 100% increase in sales is not achievable, and then relevant goals that we have within social media. There are specific things that we can do, like brand awareness, conversions, all things like that. It just depends on what we're going for. So going over your company, I see that you have a range of services. And I believe that if we tackle it with a multifaceted digital marketing strategy, we'll be pretty successful. And so I've broken it down to 3 goals that we can achieve or we can set in motion. And I think the first goal I put was increase our social media following across all platforms by 25% within the next 6 months. And that's going to be through the content that we create, partnerships, and as well as targeted advertising on social media. And I'll kind of explain a little bit more about the targeted advertising later on. A second goal would be to increase your website conversions. And on conversions, I would like to look at your system first and see how your conversions happen, if it's directly from booking or it's from going to your website and then booking. And conversions can be that. It could be we want to download an app, so that's a conversion. We want to give out a free ebook, that's a conversion. As well as putting something in the shopping cart is a conversion. Web traffic is also considered a conversion. An email is a conversion. But I think within the website, we can come up with a specific conversion and attach an increase of 25%. Just looking at everything that Amy showed me, I think that would be a safe goal. Also, I believe we should focus to increase your email subscriber list by 20% within the next 3 months. And by doing that, we would collect, we would use them interchangeably with social media, especially Meta, since you can do a custom audience with Facebook and directly grab all your email subscribers and target them in Meta. And that's a perfect way to do retargeting because Facebook does have a marketplace, and also they also have partnerships and in-stream services that they offer for all of their clientele. And I think with those goals, we definitely need to have a timeline, and also just kind of the steps that we need to take to get to accomplishing those goals, with the percentages. I think that's super important. It's not just increasing. I do like to aim for the goal. So the first phase would be, we do need to select your social media platforms. I suggested we do LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. I do know that some companies definitely have a bigger following on X, formerly Twitter. However, depending on your reach and your followership, we can determine if we believe that that's a viable way to advertise. However, X is no longer the second highest social media platform. It's going to be Instagram. So it's Facebook, Instagram, and then Twitter. And LinkedIn is definitely specifically number one for business to business transactions. Once we select those, I'll make sure everything is set up correctly. Make sure all of the marketing specifics and setups need to be, starting to collect the analytics to meet our goals. The second phase would be to establish your target audience. I don't think when I spoke with Amy, we hadn't really had a specific target audience. So I went in and did a little bit of research, and reading through your website and the conversation I had with Amy, I think we should focus on corporate clients, airlines, hotels, businesses, anybody requiring a limousine, bus service, or even transportation. Then we can focus also on individual travelers, tourists that are looking to go sightseeing, looking to have, readily available transportation and pre-set up would be our target audience. And then event planners, companies and organizations that are doing conferences, places that are doing weddings, or, any other events that are happening around in Alaska, I think would be a good thing to partner with. Once we reach that phase is when I believe we can start working on the content strategy, which is 3 parts. It's going to be informational content that we provide, promotional content, and as well as user-generated content. And in order for that to happen, and we have to align our website to be able to give good analytics to our social media. Like I said before, when you're working with Meta, you do have to have a Meta Pixel installed on your website to track analytics and to also do remarketing. This also helps with your email strategy, your email marketing strategy, because you can direct folks from your email campaign directly to a landing page on your website and collect analytics for that. And then go in and see if that campaign was successful. Look to see if things decreased, increased, all things like that. Is once we set up a campaign, we want to be able to track everything that happens with that campaign, and setting up the website in tandem with your social media will help get those analytics and be able to oversee your marketing campaign and see if they're successful. So the informational content would be something like a dedicated feed to provide your audience with information that is engaging. And a lot of that, it could be things like travel tips, destination guides, industry trends. And I'm sure you guys have something that you give your clients. When they get in, they're asking where to go, where's the best place to eat, what is the best thing to do. And when you start producing, and I hate to use the word a blog because people confuse that, it's a dedicated feed that can be anywhere on your website. So the blog is considered a query of posts. So it's just a continuous form of post. It could be a blog post, but it could also be just photos. It could be a gallery. It could be things like that. So I think calling it a dedicated feed is better than a blog, but it's essentially a blog. And with that, you also help your search engine optimization because it does give you authority on the keywords and the content on your website. And there, it increases your ranking system, and it also helps your Google ads when you're targeting folks on your auction bid, because the more specific content that you have, the better your score is compared to other businesses. So the more content you have on your website, not just necessarily like a business card, but offering, content that helps your users and your readers. Also, I think creating some case studies, highlight some of your best corporate partnerships or new partnerships or anything like that is a great way to showcase what you guys do. And it could be, a day in the life of picking up this client, or, any metric that you want to show and what you consider success would be in these case studies that we put on your website. Another area is making sure that our FAQs, are timely and address concerns and pain points that your users have on your website. So I think helping with the FAQs, we definitely need to have maybe a review section or ask a question, some of those things that you genuinely get questions over and over, either on the phone or on the website. Of things that we can go over on what type of search engine advertising availability there is, and I can show you the cost it would be, because I know a lot of this depends on the budget for advertising on these different areas. So that's one area I think would benefit you guys immensely. Script. So any CRM, I am 100% confident I can become an authority on it pretty quickly, just because most of them are similar, and I also know how to create them. So
Nice. Well, that's great news. Well, we're moving into a new space where we are really looking for someone to just uh, walk through this marketing piece with us as this partnership of really the goal was to have somebody in-house so
Mhm.
that we could literally be like, Betty, hey, what do you think of this idea? And we know you're at work and we're not bugging you. You know what I mean? Or and
Yeah.
to get more immersed into what we've got going on. We've got some pretty aggressive and exciting plans that we want to carry out for this year. And we need somebody who's really focused on us, and we're not sharing with 50 clients that,
Yeah.
or at least make me feel like I'm not your 51st client, something
Yeah.
like that.
Well,
But
and that was another thing Amy had mentioned, that you are looking for a media coordinator.
Which was actually going to be my question. My next question was, Betty, would you like share a little bit about, we talked about contractor and just doing some tasks versus coming on as a permanent member of our team. Could you talk about what that looks like for you? And also, since you did express being a permanent member of our team, why you would want to be a permanent member of our team?
Okay. So I only take on clients where I can devote 100% of my attention to at any given time. So I wouldn't be taking on multiple clients doing, the same task over and over. So I can guarantee that you would not be put on back burner. If we went on a contract, I would dedicate a specific amount towards you. And in all honesty, you could text me anytime, call me anytime, and I'll pick up. Ask Amy, or I'll return your call immediately. And that just comes with working as a freelancer for 20 years. I've been working for the fair for 20 years, on and off. Well, mostly on. There was only a 2-year gap where I didn't, but it's because I'm responsive and I do take pride in all of my clients. I don't like to be overworked. I'm to the point in my life where I like work-life balance, but I also take ownership of my work, and I'm proud of my work. And so in order to do that, you do have to dedicate your time and undevoted time. So I make it a priority. And like I said, most of my clients, they come back to me years later and they're like, hey, Betty, can you do this for me? And I jump right in. I think as a permanent member of your team, it would be a really good match, because I feel like Amy and I work really well together in main projects that we've done, a lot of projects, events. But I think as an employee, I would offer obviously my skill set, but also offer you strategy and direction if needed. And I can take ownership on that. And that's pretty much it.
So we're shifting from a marketing agency to this in-house position and this marketing strategy piece. So what you're proposing is that you will set the strategy, and then you will also create the content that is like doing the posts and scheduling the posts, and then you also will be able to have the capabilities to do a website and all that's connected to making that successful, and then also connecting that to our booking tool and our CRM.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I'm